Hey, welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here, Cardo W. Jr., Wilson Tucker Jr., the Washington Mystics. Again, we spoke to you guys during pregame. Cardo laid out the keys. A lot of boxes went unchecked in this one. Ray, your thoughts is, we saw Ryan Howard, Angel Reese, Power and Dream Pass the Mystics 109.77. And um, I would add stuff, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. So,
Um, my first thought is this team is way too big to ever get punished on the glass like this. Like that's just unacceptable, man. You know, Shakira had 5 rebounds, Kiki had 3. Lauren Best came in 1 rebound, 16 minutes. The only person that kind of attacked the glass with some urgency was Angela Dugalich. That can't be the case ever. Um, and the Mystics, they shot themselves in the foot a lot this game. They're a team that wants to play with pace, but they sent the Dream to the free throw line 41 times. You can't play with pace if you steadily stop and play and taking the ball out the net, and playing against a set defense every single time. They they got to figure something out, man. They got to stop fouling. They got to find somebody that can make some shots from outside. Um, they got to just put a complete game together. They got demolished in the second half. It was 63-43. Uh, you can't win like that. They didn't shoot well from pretty much anywhere. And the Dream had 48, 52, and 78 splits. And they, like I said, they out rebounded them. They won the turnover battle. The bench, they outscored them with 40-24. The misses didn't win anything, and that's why the score looked the way it looked. But yeah, man, it's we keep saying it's a young team, and there's still some patience, but if you keep having the same issues every single game, at some point it is what it is. And I think we're nearing that point, to be perfectly honest. This is what, their ninth game. I know it's a long season, but it's starting to get to the point where it's the same script every single game. And in the games that they won, they've been saved by outstanding performances by 2 or 3 of their big 3. So if they're just going to be dependent on them just being otherworldly in order to be competitive, then that's a recipe for disaster. They got to shore up these holes. They got to take care of the ball. They got to shoot better from outside. And, they do well in the glass for the most part, but they definitely can't lose the rebounding battle. And especially not by that much. So yeah, it was just, this is one you got to flush. But yeah, the Dream took it to him every way tonight.
Cardo.
Yeah, man. Started off the game saying that it was going to be super physical, especially up front. And the team that kind of played through that physicality and were efficient on both ends of the floor, still, they were going to come out this game and win. And the Dream did that convincingly. Uh, Ray said a lot, but second chance points is one thing that jumps out. 18-8, Dream. Bench points 40-24, Dream. Points off the turnovers. That's another thing I said. You can't turn the ball over. This team is second in the WNBA defense, period, across the board. They already there with just dealing without you turning it over. If you turn it over, they're going to get out and they're going to score. But they struggle to score. You help jumpstart their offense with the turnovers. And that's when the floodgates open. Now that everybody's confident, everybody's eating. And that's what happened. Points off turnovers. Atlanta had 26 off their 17 turnovers. In the third quarter, 9 of those turnovers came from, that's where 9 of the turnovers came in the third quarter from Washington. And Atlanta, when they scored 32 in that quarter, they scored 14 of it was off the turnovers. It was a winnable game up to that point. And at halftime, going to run, they down low double digits, like 12, I believe they were down. But third quarter, the Dream turned things up. They got physical. They got after them, and next thing you know, they were just giving them the ball, and they was out and running, and they scored off that. You gave a team a jump start offensively that struggles to score, and then they not giving you nothing on the other end. Uh, I see why Coach Sidney he just said the hell with it and got the two texts and got up out of there, man. I know he was trying to defend his plays. He felt like they was getting hit and stuff like that, but look, he kind of knew what it was. You could just tell, in the third quarter. Otherwise, he'd just try to tough it out. But yeah, I'm with Ray. The most glaring thing, Angel Reese our rebounded the entire front line combined by herself. Nah. That just can't happen. Kiki on your way. Awesome. 7 rebounds combined. You throwing bets 8 rebounds combined from your front court. That's the first half for Angel tonight. I'm with Ray, man. It's kind of at that point with the youth thing. Nah, y'all gotta figure it out. It's still basketball at the end of the day. I get it's the highest level, but y'all gotta figure some things out. Youth or no youth, you shouldn't turn the ball up. Youth or no youth, you got to rebound the ball. Youth or no youth, you got to make shots. Youth or no youth, you got to defend. You got to get stops. You already know how the Atlanta coming. Y'all played them in the preseason. I believe they played them in the preseason. You already know how they coming. So if you're not coming with that energy and physicality, yeah, they're gonna beat the hell out of you. And that's what this is. Like, no, man, it becomes about pride at some point, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking even the plus minus. Shakira minus 29. Kiki minus 20. And she had 24, but 8 of 15. But she didn't rebound the ball, and they took it to her on that. Sonia minus 24. Alicia Flores minus 29. This is her worst game. This is her worst game since being signed to the Mystics. This is her worst game by far. Georgia, she better come on. No, I did. She gotta come on, man. You had a whole year to sit there. I know it's tough coming off injury. I had to do it myself. I get it, but you gotta give them something. You gotta give them something, man. Control the pace of the game. Be the ultimate playmaker. Hit shots. Get stops. You gotta do something. 0 for 1. 2 rebounds. 1 assist. 1 turnover. What are we doing out here, man? If they're going to keep playing like this, it's going to be a very, very long season.
Yeah, you guys said everything already. And the thing that was most, I guess, disheartening was, again, what Game 6 game, no one Atlanta brought to the table defensively. Like, for them to have the record they have, it's because of what they do defensively, the hell that they raised, so they can jumpstart their offense. Yeah, they got 2 very capable offensive weapons when they get rolling, but to this point this season, Ryan and Alicia have not been rolling on a regular basis. It hasn't been that type of year for the Dream. And then again, we've been talking about this consistently through all 9 games during wins and losses, right? They gotta stop putting people sending people to the foul line. You can't survive that. You just can't. That's 40 something trips today. Cardell, you mentioned a pregame that neither team shot the ball very well coming to this game from the free throw line. However, spotting someone 40 something trips, you're not helping yourself. You couple that with honestly, for, the standard, I think it's not wrong to hold Washington's front court to the standard that they've had through, 8, 9 games. That was just a really dismal outing on the glass. You can't have those issues and then they can't afford no shows on the glass because of the other issues they have. In terms of some of the things that they struggle with, that's one of the things you can control. That should be a non-negotiable there, because as you guys said, yeah, youth is youth and all this other stuff, and yeah, there's grace and all this. However, you're too talented to be getting punched on the glass. That just shouldn't. We should get to. There shouldn't be many more games the rest of the year where we get to this point where we're talking. It's like, oh, the other team was plus whatever on the glass. Honestly, like the way this front court is healthy, they shouldn't ever. It shouldn't be +10 to the other team. Like again, there's gonna be games where you lose on the glass, all right, but you can't lose like this. This this is insurmountable. There's, there's no losing like that on the glass and winning for this team. You can't do that. You just can't.
One last thing, man. Alicia Gray, she had 15. She was 1 for 4. She only made one shot, 1 or 2 from deep. She was 12 15 from the line. So that just means she figured like I'm just gonna attack y'all. Y'all not clearly y'all don't want to move y'all feet, and I feel like y'all soft. So I'm just gonna punish y'all and get to the line. That's how she got majority of her points. Literally only one other, but she got 3 points off a 3-pointer. All her rest of her points came from the line, just attacking, putting her head, just attacking, man. Like that's crazy. She only had 1 rebound, so it wasn't like second chance points. I'm going there trying to scrap it. No, Angel was cleaning all that up. That was just I'm putting my head down, get to the basket. Y'all can't guard me. They so, look, losing sucks, but sometimes it's how you lose. And this one of them games is how they lost. That's just alarming. It's like y'all gotta go back to the drawing board because if this what it's gonna be, man.
Yeah, and you take that loss to Atlanta, you come back home and you go deal. You could be dealing with a what's it called fever in here on Monday or whatever. You deal with another team where the way they play and push the pace bothered you the last time you played them. You survived that game. You did get the win. However, like coming off of this, like you can't have you can't go into that game repeating some of these things. Well, repeating any of these things, you just can't. Um, if you guys had nothing else for this game, player of the game's up on the screen for y'all.
Angel, easy, dominant.
All right, Xfactor.
You know, I'm gonna roll with the rook. Ocott, 11-5. 11-5, man. 5-9. Out of South Carolina.
I have no rebuttals to that, right? Yeah, somebody else, you going with Medina Okada as well.
Yeah, I can rock with that. That's good production off the bench on a night where Atlanta's bench totally dominated Washington's.
All right, get to these comments. Appreciate y'all as always. We got Doug Dane with a bunch of them. Start here. Only good thing I take away from this game is I got a newfound respect for coach. About time. Comment on what you guys mentioned earlier. Missing getting the 2 sets. Uh, when not, followed that up with this is a bad passing team. And I don't mean assist. I mean just simply passing to the person next to you. DHOs, post entries are all a challenge. This should not be a problem.
Man, you got a point. Yeah. Results are results, man. You know, we just tell it how it is, man. We ain't. Yeah, that offense has been stifled to say the least this season. And yeah, they're 11th in the WNBA in assists, 18.6 a game.
Yeah, the question for you all next. What are your thoughts on helping off 3-point shooters? We tell ours to not help off the corner. They go in the game. They do it anyway. Y'all think they're coaching that, or is it just undisciplined?
You mean like helping off a 3-point, like the Mystics helping off a 3-point shooters?
Yeah, the Mystics on defense helping off the 3-point shooters.
Because I didn't know if he meant like they helping off of them. The Mystics helping off. With the bigs that they have, as versatile as they have, are and athletic, how big they are, you would think that they wouldn't need to, because you would think the bigs would be able to hold up. That's also a problem. The wings got their hands full. Now I got to come down here and help you out because you can't hold your yard, and they kicking it back out. And then if they're not hitting threes, they getting downhill and punishing them like the Dream did tonight and get to the line. Then the fouls start to pile up. Also, you know, I mentioned this a lot of times on defense, team defense wise, when a couple players consistently break down, whether they picking up bad fouls or they getting beat, the fabric of trust within the team defense, it goes away. It may not be spoken on, but you can just tell. And you see that in spurts with the Mystics, where they just don't, with certain people getting the game, they don't trust it. So yeah, certain players are not gonna do their job. or they're gonna overdo their job. They over because they try to make up for somebody else, and that's still equally as bad. And then it leads to a basket or hockey assist or whatnot, and it's a breakdown. And you gotta go back to the film and watch and see what's going on. And people got to work at it. People don't understand, man. I've always said, man, defense, you got to know what you're doing out there. It's not just playing hard. Like, you can play hard all you want against a crafty, savvy offensive player. They're just gonna foul you out. But you're playing hard. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to adapt. You got to know how to adjust and defend somebody and counter what they're trying to counter, make them work. That's how you really make them work. And the youth and the Mystics, we keep saying that, but youth is a real thing. They're inexperienced in dealing with this. You know what I mean? And they got to figure it out because again, it's getting to that point in the season where, all right, man, we don't want to hear about the youngness anymore. Can you get it done or not? If not, guys start looking for people that can, because we know in pro sports, if the losing continues, people will be out of a job, one way or the other. So if you value your job and your career, these players better start to get it done.
The next one was Flores definitely had a bad game, and Amore, as much as I've been rooting for, it's not getting better.
It's tough, though. I don't even know what to say on that, though. Yeah. That's one of them things. Like, you got holler at Coach Sidney, man. Because coming out of college, she looked cold. But again, the W's the W. The league is the league for a reason. And she struggles with bigger guards, bigger athletic guards. She just does.
Not to make an excuse, you can just feel it though. 20-point blowout. Atlanta lost a tough one at home. You can see from the jump not being locked in that young stuff. Shaking my head.
I don't see why they want to be locked in, man. Y'all 500 coming in. No, it's man. This generation, but I don't like to continue to throw out excuses, but it was a good point made about the WNBA as a whole. A lot of the veterans and players, they came in out of shape because of how they had to rush that CBA thing, and then they had to get jumped right into the season. It's similar to when the NBA, I think it was 99 when they locked out, and then they came in for that half a year. It's similar to that. That's where, but by the time they got to the end of the season and playoffs, they were in shape. So like a lot of ladies are trying to get in shape right now. Now some are already ready to go, and those are the teams that's kind of got a gap at the top of the standings, man. But yeah, man, and then you gotta look at it this way: like the rooks and stuff, they don't know. They don't know. They do not know. And I'm pretty sure Georgia's like, I saw it. It's a lot different when you sit and seeing it, and then you get in and you feeling it. It's like, God dang, she's strong. And she a rookie too. She going through it. It's just a lot of that, man. So, man, yeah, but they gotta figure out something, man. They gotta figure out something.
Yeah, and the thing what I had on to like the thing with Georgia, it was already be tough. Pre-injury, it was gonna be tough anyways. Like smaller guards, it's hell. In the W, the smaller guards, you gotta think about it. She tore ACL. Like, yeah, I get that she's back. It's a smaller guard. You lose any of your juice, dog. Like, you want to talk about people that can't afford to lose any juice? The smaller guards in the W. Can't lose any juice. Most of the times, any of them, they something happens to one of their wheels. They just struggle bus before they get right. And the thing that sucks the most for her is there's no reference point because it's Cardell Ray. Shit, she went from watching to playing. There's nothing to rely on to get through that. There's no knowledge base or anything. That said, hey man, like powers that be, you chose the roster construction is if the roster's constructed, I was constructed. You got to figure it out. Like all multiple things can be true. Like that sucks. However, you got to figure it out.
And think about it.
Absolutely.
One thing that would have helped Georgia, have a veteran point guard to show the ropes. Like, now do this. This is what I do against her, and this will work. Like a lot of these rookies, like you can't even Sonya and Kiki, they can tell them something, but they in their second year, they still trying to figure it out. Shakira probably or Anya, they're probably the best on this team. And like Shakira over the last couple of years just started coming into her own. It took her a few years to figure it out. You see what I'm saying? So it's like Yeah, man. Like who's gonna teach him? I get the trial by fire, but that's a delicate thing because sometimes the fire got burned and they never recover. It's just third-degree burns on their body, and they just like, man, I'm good. I don't even want to get it back in the fire. I don't even want to get back in there, man. I'm cool. And that's why you need vets. You need vets that been and done it. Like, now try this, Rook. Now this how you need to work behind the scenes, Rook. Lock in, Rook. Nah, Rook, don't leave early. Get some extra shots up, Rook. Now come in here and lift with me, Rook. I know you tired, but we gotta get this lift in, man. We got Atlanta the next fight. Yo, you gonna need it. Trust me. It's gonna keep you healthy. It's gonna keep you strong throughout the game. Trust me. Little things like that. Nah, Rook, put that McDonald's down, man. Go get some real food. Go get that baked chicken, man. You know what I'm saying? Go to Oohs and Ahs, get the dinner, man. Get some real food out here, man. So McDonald's ain't gonna do it. Like little stuff like that seem like it ain't that big of a deal. Then you play the Atlanta Dream, you like, God, yeah. Because think about a lot of these ladies, Lauren for sure, she ain't used to losing like this. Not at UCLA, they beat teams like this. So yeah, this goes to show you what's going on, man.
Just across sports again. I get having young talented roster, man. That's a priceless, especially those who legit been through exactly the thing that some of these players, the same roles, etc. But Doug Dane still has a couple more. He was like they refused to make Gray go right, ended up being straight line drives or left the whole game.
I don't think they had a choice in the matter, man, to be honest. Man. I don't think they wanted it to happen. I think she's just like, I'm going to go that way. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
I followed that up with I agree. Okay, looking like she got a lot of upside. Yeah.
We knew that. That's
We were
South
saying
Carolina.
that leading. Yeah, we were saying that when we were, I think during draft night when we were talking about that because it was just absurd that she was available since they didn't re she wasn't able to re up to stay in school. Um, but he apologized about bad. Y'all had to vent on this one. Hey man, it is what it is. So we're
We
here
used
for. It's not a problem.
we're watching the basketball, man.
Go and get an invoice for therapy though.
Yeah, when you feel it's different. Talking about earlier the point you were making, Cardell. Good point. Definitely not giving up on any of our players yet. Carlos Robertson, the fire's burning now.
And people don't want to listen, man.
Yeah, the veteran presence in practice is huge. In practice, off the court, games, etc. Like it's
Being a pro is a lifestyle. Being a professional is a lifestyle. It don't end. Because if you
like
get lazy in any aspect, no other players in the league, they getting their edge on you. And y'all meet up,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna get your ass whooped in front of everybody. And that's not a good feeling, as they know tonight.
like you said, the youth, right? That year, that last year of college basketball heading into the rookie year for W players, right? They're not gonna have an idea what the hell happened until they get to their first off season.
You gotta be
They,
special. You gotta be
yeah,
special,
like
man. It's a
Mm-hmm.
reason why certain programs, their players consistently, Gino and South Carolina, but they have WNBA alumni or coach that played in the WNBA and Notre Dame. It's the reason why their players come in and they just hit the ground running. You can tell they being taught by people who know what it's about. You know what I mean? So, and not saying some of these like some of these schools are just not as consistent. So they're like one of the first ones. You know what I mean? So you gotta be special. That's why it's hard to get there.
he said, Doug Damon again, good show y'all. See how they bounce back next game. Carlos Roberts before the buzzer. Say, Coach Johnson, how much longer are we doing this? You're playing this Georgia and Florida at the same time. Is not doing it. Neither one of them is.
Make a point. But I think the Georgia thing right now is business. We spent the first round pick on her. We gotta give her every opportunity to sink or swim. Flores came in and kind of is like a veteran guard to kind of steady the ship. But I don't think she's ever played this extended minutes like this with teams counter this type of role. So she got to adjust as well. Hey man, it's tough. It's, it's tough. We knew going in the draft, like the old GM got fired right before the draft, so we knew it was some headbutting on the direction of the team. Yeah, they got a lot of things to clean up. They got a lot of things to look at, man. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And then I think that's a great place to leave it. And we will check in with you guys Monday to see if they can bounce back or how they respond from this loss, Georgia, and this loss in Georgia to Atlanta tonight. And then they'll be taking on a fever Monday night. So we'll check in with y'all then. Appreciate y'all as always for the comments.